We got a new president, guys. Make America great again.
Let's hope that doesn't get our podcast taken down.
Week 11 in college.
Not anymore,
week
baby.
10 and
3,
in the NFL.
2, 1.
Wow, that was a real soft start there, Mr. Ben. All right, we are back and at 'em here with the one and only Get the Edge. I am Scott Matthews. Woo! Big things going on in the world. We had an election last night. Obviously, everyone knows what happened there. It wasn't as close as everyone thought. So I'm going to ask the guys what they think about that in a minute. But I want to welcome back my partners in crime. There he is, ladies and gentlemen, the shiniest man in the industry, the one and only Tommy King from TK Wins. What's up, TK?
Yeah, man, just ready for another big week of college football. Got basketball started. I'm ready to roll. I'm going to get us that sponsorship by Robert Graham by the end of the month.
I'm telling you, man, if Robert Graham don't come through between you and me, I don't know what's going on. Well, here he is, ladies and gentlemen, my man, the man that keeps me on the straight and narrow each and every week here on this great show, the CEO of the Sports Prophets.
What's up, boys?
Teddy Brooks.
Time to get the edge once again. I was up all night partying, celebrating, so I'm a little tired right now. But I'm here. I'm here.
Guys, I'm gonna ask both of you, obviously, but TK, what'd you think of the election? Everyone thought it was going to be so close, right down to the wire. It's going to be the closest in history. It wasn't that close.
Yeah, it wasn't that close. I voted early. I took Trump, got to say it, but I'm glad he won. Get ready for another 4 years.
Well, I came up with a new slogan before I throw it to Teddy, and I think it'd be perfect for our show. Instead of Make America Great Again, let's make winning great again. What do you think, guys? You like that one?
You know, here's the way I look at it. Both of those things are great, and they can always be greater. And I think even on this show, we could win a little bit more than we have the last couple of weeks. So let's make it great again. I just wanted to say it's pretty sad, the world that we live in, because I had a few bets on that election that I really liked. One that I saw a lot of value in was Trump popular vote plus 260.
Right.
I thought it was good value. And I wanted to give it out on my Instagram and all that stuff, but I was so afraid, because this is what we use to get out to the audience. I was so afraid of getting, suspended or something that I didn't even say it, and
probably better off.
A good winner went to waste.
Let me ask you, before we move it on, obviously, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, guys. Man, this week is jam-packed.
Oh, real quick, Scotty, I think by next election, you're going to start seeing politic votes on the standard sports books, MGM and FanDuel and stuff.
Yeah. What you guys, what was your thoughts? Did you think it was going to be closer than it was? Because it just seemed like he pulled away in all the key states. I don't want to harp on it too much longer, but, quickly, what'd you think of the way he won? It was pretty dominating, I think.
I thought he was going to win the Electoral College, no doubt.
Popular vote.
Vote by 5 million. I didn't expect it. Maybe 1 million. I didn't expect 5 million.
All right.
I thought we'd be smoking marijuana on the show by next year, but
that surprised me. Florida, no on the marijuana.
It started out early. Good. Yeah, it started out early.
And that shows you how these polls, and this goes for sports betting also. You got to be careful what ESPN and stuff's feeding you. The polls had the marijuana vote at 66%.
Right.
I think it only hit like 56%. So the polls were off by 10 points there. The polls were off on the abortion vote. So all these different polls, it's just like the sports shows. People sit there and they watch these sports shows and they make their bets based on it, and sometimes the information's just way off.
All right, well, listen, I want to get right into it, man, because I'm pretty jacked up. The SEC is back in action this weekend, and they got the marquee games. We'll talk about that, obviously, a little bit later on. But we got some college football lined up this week. I know you guys have been doing your homework just like myself. And I want to kick it off. I know you got some big plays, TK, going this week. I want to kick it off with your best bets in college football. Let's hear what you have to say.
Well, I jump right into it. I'm going to start off. I like my Friday night lights. I'm on this UCLA game. Iowa's -6, 44.5. I'm going to jump on the dog on this one. I'm going to take the 6 points. UCLA 5-1 their last 6 against the spread. 4-1 against the spread their last 5 against the Big Ten. I'm going to look for a UCL to control the ball on the ground and give me a nice win as a dog, plus the points here on this one on Friday night to start off the weekend.
Really? Okay. Yeah, I mean, Iowa just came off an ass kicker. They destroyed Wisconsin. I actually thought Wisconsin had a shot in that game, but they just got their ass handed to them. Totally outclassed them in that game. So you think they're going to pick it up, go back on the road, and they're going to not they're not going to show up? You thinking?
No, I don't think they're going to show up on the road. UCLA is going to control this game on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take the points and get paid with them. Start the weekend off right on Friday.
Okay. How you rating that game?
4 stars.
4-star unit. All right. Anything else looks exciting to you before I move it over to my man Teddy?
I'm going to play one more game in the college football. It's going to go on Saturday. I'm on one of your teams that you've been playing, Michigan, Indiana.
Oh, you caught wind finally, huh?
Indiana was 14-50 right now. I'm going to jump on Indiana. Michigan just 1-4 against the spread their last 5. Indiana 8-0 against the spread their last 8. 5-0 against the spread at home. 7-0 against the spread their last 7 in the Big Ten. I'm looking for Indiana to just light it up and win this game by at least 20+. Indiana and a blowout in this one.
I mean, I don't blame you. I mean, think about it. Nobody stopped them yet. I mean, 8 games, they're pouring points up like wildfire. They're averaging about 47 and change a game. They're just tough. I mean, and to be honest with you, I don't see how Michigan's going to be able to stay. If Indiana continues their way on offense and playing well on defense, they're playing great on both sides of the ball. So
yep, and you can Google me on that one. I'm going to use the same phrase.
I love it.
I'm a winner.
I was waiting for it.
Yep.
I was waiting
Google
for
me.
it. That coach.
I win.
How can you bet against that coach, right? I love that pick too. I think the odds makers are showing a ton of respect to Indiana by making them 14-point favorites there. And when the odds makers speak, sometimes you really got to listen. So I like that move also.
Yeah, well, Indiana's had cheap prices on them pretty much throughout the year, and I've taken advantage of those 7, 6.5s, and they've wiped it up. They've been winning really well. All right, excellent. So is that a bet? How you rating that?
Another
game?
4-star unit selection on there.
Okay.
I was looking at the Alabama LSU game, but I'm staying away from that one. But
yeah, well, I want to touch on that a little bit, but I want to kick it over to my man Teddy, see what's on his mind for his big plays for college
so
football.
I'm doing 3 college, 1 NFL this week. This first game that I'm going to talk about, Scotty, I had your voice in my head when I was looking at this game, because you always say you like to look where one team is going in an upward direction,
right,
and another team is going in a downward direction.
Right.
And that's exactly what's happening, in my opinion, in this game. Rice had a terrible year. There's no denying that. They made a coaching change, and they came in and they shut down Navy, who's a good team this year. Navy's a very solid team. They held them to 10 points. Memphis, on the other hand, had a solid year, but they're coming off of a beatdown against a UTSA team that's not that great. They were outright favorites, and they got destroyed. E.J. Warner, the quarterback for Rice, exploded last week. I expect him to keep that play up. The line opened up at 11. It's down to 9.5 now. I'm going and moving that line to 10, and I'm taking Rice plus 10. Memphis hasn't covered in 5 of their last 6 games. The road team covers the spread in this game the last 4 years in a row. Rice needs to win all 3 games they have left to be bowl eligible, so I'm all over Rice plus the 10 on this one.
All right, is that a strong play?
It's a strong play. I'm coming with heat this week. I'm feeling good. I think a big, my NFL game is not going to be a 5-star if we're using the TK system. My NFL game is probably going to be a 3 or 4, but I'm putting 5s in all these college games here.
All right, what else are you looking at?
I'm looking at West Virginia versus Cincinnati. West Virginia's quarterback is out. Their backup played last week. He actually did very well, but he did very well against a defense that's not as good as Cincinnati. Cincinnati has won each of its last 18 games as a favorite. West Virginia hasn't covered the spread on the road in 5 of the last 6. Mm-hmm. I think the line here should be Cincinnati -7. Right now it's sitting around -5.
Yeah, 5.
I like them a lot in this spot. West Virginia has not beat a team with a winning record. All of Cincinnati's numbers are better than West Virginia. Every single number down the line is much, much higher as far as accounting for opponent. So that's when you take yardage or points per game, and then you adjust it for opponent weakness or strength. And they're just the better team here. I think they're going to get back to their winning ways after stumbling a little bit in their last play. And this game, if they win it right here, it's going to put them into bowl eligibility. So I think Cincinnati wins this game and becomes bowl eligible.
Yeah, they're 5-3 right now. They had a bye week They really were playing excellent. They went into Colorado. Colorado kind of manhandled them that game. It really wasn't as close as the 11 points, but Colorado kind of dominated that game. And now they had a bye week, so they had a week off to prepare extra for this matchup. And like you say, West Virginia is one of those teams you just can't really catch a gauge because they're not really moving in any direction. They're kind of flatlining. So maybe Cincinnati sits back and says, "Hey, we got ourselves a good one here to try to blow them out." So that's a best bet for you?
That's probably going to be my best bet. Okay. But I'm really trying to keep it even among all three of these college games today.
Okay.
My last one is Virginia versus Pittsburgh. This is a big bounce back spot for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's been solid all year. They did not have the best performance in their last game. They lost to a very tough SMU team.
Yeah.
But SMU's good this year. They're very good.
Very good.
Virginia's also coming off of a loss to North Carolina, who I just don't think is that good. And I'm just looking at this game. Pittsburgh 6-2 against the spread in their last 8. Virginia's 3-6 against the spread in their last 9 against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh covered the spread in 7 of their last 8 home games. And Virginia just loses as a road underdog. So with this one, I'm looking at trends. I'm looking at performance, and I'm looking at a bounce-back spot for a team, and I'm going with Pitt. It's sitting at -7 right now. This one I would buy to 6.5, 100%. So just to go back on Cincinnati, I would just leave the line at 5. Too expensive to buy it all the way to 3. So I'm just leaving that one at 5. I'm taking Pitt at -6.5.
All right, you heard it. All right, guys, good job. That's it for college for both of you, I assume.
2 for me in college.
We only got three weeks left after this week of college football.
Yeah, it's going by. But I'll tell you what, I got a couple of real key games. I did my homework, I feel, this week. I looked at a lot of things inside and out on these matchups. I'm looking at the huge matchup in the SEC between Georgia and Ole Miss. I really like this game a lot because I think this game is a little camouflaged, more so than people will think. And a lot of people are just going to grab onto the seeds here and take the higher seed. You know, the public always does that. Oh, we'll take number 2 against number 7 or 8. I think they're making a big mistake. This team's averaging 569 yards a game. We're talking about Ole Miss. They're playing fantastic football. They could have been looking ahead last week against Arkansas. They blew Arkansas out of the building, won by over 30 and put on about 60 points, I believe, 62 or 63.
Yeah, that was
I think they're a huge home dog in this spot. I mean, Georgia's great, don't get me wrong, but I think they're going to run into a buzzsaw in this game, and I think the line on this game is beatable. Right now, Georgia's showing about a 2.5 to 3-point favorite. I'd make this game 3.5 all day long. I'd grab those points. When you got a team that's scoring 42 points a game through the regular season, which Ole Miss has been doing, yeah, maybe they haven't played the caliber, as they say, as Georgia has, but I think they are the caliber of Georgia. I think they can definitely match up against Georgia. Georgia didn't impress me at all against Florida. That game was 20-20 late in the game. I mean, a couple of mistakes by Florida gave that game, to Georgia. So I like Ole Miss at home. I think they got a big shot in this game as a live dog. So I'm jumping on it, best bet for me. And one other game I'm really liking is all the way out on the West Coast at night. This team, I mean, it's like the Cinderella team.
We got late night games again.
Yeah.
Where you asked for them, we have them again this week.
We got a 10:15 p.m. start. I got BYU's playing Utah. I think the wheels fell off the bus for Utah. They've lost 4 straight games in a row. I mean, think about it. Utah team coached by Kyle Whittingham to lose 4 straight games in a row. Something's not right there. BYU 8-0 on the season, just doing what they do best. 4-0 on the road. Talk about balance. It doesn't get any balanced ledger sheet than this. 4-0 at home, 4-0 on the road. So they're winning on the road, they're winning at home, and they're winning handily. I love BYU in this spot. The current line on this game is 4. I'll go down to 3. I'll buy a full point, make it -3. I love BYU to blow out. I think they win this game by at least 8 to 14 points.
Yeah, and they have B.Y. Jew. Have you heard about B.Y. Jew?
And he's one of the Heisman.
Yeah, he's a quarterback
the guy from Miami.
Cam Ward.
Yeah,
quarterback for BYU's a Mormon school. For those people who didn't know, and their quarterback's Jewish. So the whole team and the whole fan base pretty much now is calling him B.Y. Jew.
Yep.
They're all in the bandwagon. I like that BYU pick. The Georgia Ole Miss pick. That's a tough one for me. I could never. You're very brave for taking that because I could never pick a side. Those are pretty much right now, obviously besides UCF, who's my alma mater, those are the 2 teams that I like the most in college football right now. Well, this is going to be the game of the month, probably, in my opinion.
Listen, I look at this. You got two great teams on the field, and you got a team that's scoring 42 points a game, and they're getting points at home, and they can play. So I mean,
Yeah.
Georgia's going to have to come with their A+ game to get
Carson
the W.
Beck made a lot of mistakes against Florida last week. A lot of interceptions. I think he threw 3 in the first half.
Well, if he makes those mistakes against this
they're
team,
done. If he throws those interceptions against Ole Miss, he's in big trouble.
Let me ask you, out of all the teams left, I mean, just getting a quick opinion from you, out of all the teams left in college football undefeated, which one you think's the most surprising? You think it's a team like BYU?
I'd say Army. Army's what, 9-0 still?
Yeah, well, but are they playing?
They ain't playing nothing. I think Ole Miss loses this week. They're knocked out of the playoffs, aren't they? I'm
They
not
could
sure,
be.
but
Yeah, they could be.
no team with three
They're
losses will be
they're
up on the top.
No.
I-
7-2.
I would have to say Indiana, even though we're watching them and we've been on the train. Me and you've been on the train for a while. TK joined the train this
Hope I
week.
didn't break it.
Oh, yeah.
TK joined the
Hope I
train.
didn't derail it.
Well,
yeah.
I didn't go with you, so I'm
I think
okay
it'll
with
be
it.
okay. But here's the thing: when, like, for surprise, you're talking about the national champions. I know it's a different team this year, but they're favored by 14 points over the defending national champions. Even in August, if you would have told me that, I would have said you're crazy.
Right.
And so, to me, that's the biggest surprise of the year right now.
Well, think about it. The number one team in the nation, obviously, is Oregon. They are undefeated. But from 2, 3, I think even 4, they've had losses.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got all these undefeated teams underneath that, like these Indianas, the BYUs, and there's a couple others, I believe, like you said, Army. But
Yeah, I said 9-0 or 8-0. I don't understand how Miami is ranked higher.
Miami,
I don't know
there you go.
how are they ranked higher than Indiana. Miami's played all these tight games. I mean, every game they're playing, Cam Ward gets lucky, comes down.
Yeah, because what happens is Miami gets the notoriety from, just the program itself and Miami. And
They're playing Georgia Tech.
And the conference, the Big Ten and the ACC is.
Pretty close.
I think Georgia Tech last year, didn't they make the bad call? The guy fumbled the ball, they come back and win the game.
He didn't take the knee.
Didn't take the
Didn't
knee.
take the knee.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say about that, TK. Thank God we have a 12-team playoff this year, because there would be somebody's going to be undefeated that wouldn't be making a 14 playoff, and it would be the big argument all over again. Oh, we need something different. Well, now we have something different. We have a 12-team playoff, and I think, I could be wrong, but I think you're going to see. I don't know about Army. Do you think Army gets there if they win out?
I don't know about that.
I don't know about Army, but I
These
think
other teams ahead of them win
right.
out? No.
I think the rest of them. I think BYU they'll get in if they're undefeated. Indiana will get in if they're undefeated.
Yeah.
So you're not going to have that
Well,
big
Indiana's
argument.
going to have to play Ohio State at the end. If it goes at this pace, I think they would play
the
each
Big
other
Ten
for-
championship game.
Right,
Okay.
right. So that could take somebody out right
Well, they
there.
wouldn't be undefeated if they lost. But I'm saying if any of these teams go in undefeated, you're not going to have that argument this year. I think it's a good thing.
Well, look at the game Alabama LSU. You lose this game, you're basically out of the playoffs as well.
I want to talk about that real quick. You guys look. I know I didn't know. You guys said you didn't have an opinion really on the game, but this is such an important game for these two programs. Alabama 6-2. Do we see a third loss on them in a season? That's something we haven't seen in a long, long time. Against LSU, obviously they've had some seasons where they've dropped 3 games. So what's your thoughts on a game like this?
One thing I say, I'm not going to touch the game. I learned my lesson this year going against LSU at home against Mississippi. I lost that one.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never do it again. They're 14-0. Their last 14 at home.
Right.
I wouldn't touch this game, but I'm not going against LSU in this one.
The only thing I didn't like about LSU, I got to be honest with you, was that last game. I mean, they played really well in the first half, and then it just seems like everything fell apart in the second half. Turnovers, mistakes, costly stuff. And now you're going against a defense like Alabama that's hungry. They had that bye week. They came off a huge win, 34-0, shut a Missouri team down that was scoring points. I think they only lost. I think they were undefeated, weren't they, going into that game against Bama, or maybe only one loss? But anyways, I mean, for me to see Bama. The only problem I have with Bama, they're 1-2 on the road this year. But I think they're gonna show up somehow, some way. And I can't. I could see LSU having a third loss more so than I could see Bama. So if I was gonna bet this game, it'd be a very light play. I'd money line the game. I'd take the 2, 2.5, or 3, whatever it is, money line it, and just Alabama wins. I get paid.
Yeah, you got
Small play though.
You got Garrett Nussmeier, quarterback for LSU. Obviously, Milroe, quarterback for Bama. Going to be a good game. I was looking at the total. I was thinking about going over, but the line's come down a couple points. It gives me a little bit of a bad omen for the over. I think these defenses can lock down at certain points in these games. You definitely have one big quarter. It might be something I might be looking at a live bet at some point. Just putting like a quarter bet or doing a live over if it starts off really slow.
You sound like the audience now, chasing
Yeah,
after
I
games.
know.
Come on,
But here's the thing. This is a game I'm going to be
chasing
watching.
games now, TK. What do you think?
I'm betting table tennis right now sitting next to him.
Oh, hold on, I got the paddle ball on this side.
Well, the cool thing about table tennis on the Hard Rock is you can watch it while you're
Pickleball,
betting it
excuse me.
right on the app. But yeah, I agree with you. I mean, this is a tough game to call.
I wouldn't chase a game like this.
I wouldn't put big money on this game. Maybe it's just something to have a little bit of fun. But it's going to be a good game. What you're going to have here, last week you said something. You said we don't really have much big SEC action this week. This week we do. We got
Yeah, of
two
course.
premier SEC games that I'm excited to kick my feet back and watch.
All right, guys. Excellent. So that's a recap, guys, on the college football we have going this week. We got a full slate of games in the NFL. I don't know if you guys were looking at anything early in the week. I know there was a Thursday night, pretty nice matchup. You got Buffalo on the road. Baltimore on the road. Laying
Baltimore
6.
at home. Baltimore at home.
Oh, Baltimore at home. Excuse me. Right. Baltimore at home, -6 against Cincinnati. We got Joe Burrow against Lamar Jackson and all the weapons on both those teams. You guys have anything on that game, or guys staying kind of clear on that one?
I'm staying away from them Thursday night
I
NFLs.
actually got a little prop I'm sprinkling on this one. I got to see where the number's at.
Teddy's going all disco on
But
us.
Joey
now.
Burrow throwing an interception?
No, I'm doing. I'm actually going.
He hasn't thrown. He's only thrown one all year.
I'm going Lamar Jackson over 232 passing yards.
Okay.
I think that it's a little bit of a low number. I think he gets 240, 250, 260 in that range. Obviously,
But is that a play you would give out, or is that just something you're doing?
just something I'm doing
little
for
shits
fun
and
on the
giggles?
show. Yeah, it's not something like
Okay.
I'd give a client to slam at all.
Okay.
And there are certain situations where I will have a slamming prop, but
Okay.
yeah, I think just a little small sprinkle on that game.
All right, I want to go to my man TK down there on the end with that beautiful shirt. Holy cow, Ben! Look at that shirt. I know you got sunglasses on. He's shining like.
I'll have to get Ben one. I'll have to get his size and get him one.
I'm telling you, Ben would look great in that stuff. Yeah, there you go. We're going to kick it off with some NFL action. We got a nice board of games going on Sunday, obviously. I want to get your opinion. And more importantly, the audience wants to know what you're thinking. What do we got going in the NFL?
NFL, Indianapolis, Buffalo. That's the first game I'm jumping on. Buffalo is 4-46.5. All the trends are going for the Colts in this game. But at Buffalo, I had them last week -6.5 against Miami. They let me down. I'm looking for Josh Allen and the boys just to light it up this week. I said they were going to light it up last week, but they're going to do it this week. The offensive line for the Colts is going to give up some nice sacks. They did it last week. They're going to do it. I'm looking for Buffalo's defense to step it up. Buffalo's defense has been playing horrible all year. But I'm jumping right back on Buffalo. I'm going to lay the 4 points. Hopefully they win this game. Not hopefully. They're going to win this game by 10+ on Sunday.
They're on a heater right now. I mean, they play tough. Miami played tough against them last week. I was surprised.
The Buffalo defense just gave it up there on 4th down. And if not, they win by 7 and cover last week, but they didn't. But this week, they're going to step it up on the offense and defense and get me paid on Sunday.
Okay. Strong play?
4 stars. All these I'm giving out a show 4 stars here today.
All right. There you go. You heard it, everyone. This guy's doing his homework, and he likes Buffalo. He's going to lay the 4. You keeping it on 4?
I'm keeping it on 4. I'm looking for a win by 10+.
And that's a 4-unit selection. So just mark it down and keep track of all that good winning. Anything else in the NFL? You good?
I'm going to close it out with one last game. Jets, Arizona. Arizona right now 1-46. I'm going to jump on Arizona. The Jets just 1-5 against the spread their last 6. Arizona 4-1 their last 5 against the spread. 5-0 against an AFC opponent. 3-0 against the spread the last 3 against the Jets. I'm looking for Arizona to come out, give me another late winner in the afternoon on Sunday.
That's a surprising team, that Arizona. Quietly, they've been just steadily lately winning. They're in first place. I think their record's 5-4, if I'm not mistaken.
NFC
but
West.
First place in that division. This Jets team, man, you can't just get
up and down.
you can't get a gauge on them. Just when you think you got them, they get you. So you might have something there. The line opened, I think, was 1.5. I'm showing pick 'em on that game.
Pick 'em -1 right now.
And you like that?
I would play the money line anyways on Arizona. Would be -120, I think, right now.
But that's a strange line if you think about it. Arizona first in their conference, 3 in a row winning. They're playing steady, as we call it. The other team is going sideways, losing record. And
They're
the
rotting.
game is basically they opened the Jets as a favorite on the road. That's kind of a make you scratch your head kind of line. right?
I always talk about it. You know, you got to be careful with these lines that seem too good to be true.
Yeah, it seems like they're begging you to grab Arizona or something. You know, I don't know what they're begging, but to make the Jets the way they're playing overall, you know, a favorite against a team that's been playing really well.
And the weird part about
Kyler
it is
Murray's showing up now.
he is. And
He's got his head back on.
is Marvin Harrison healthy?
That I don't think
No,
so.
he had some concussion issues. He
yeah,
had some
no,
other injury issues.
But they're winning. They're winning.
You know, the interesting thing about what you're saying here is it actually opened Arizona favored by 2, and the line moved 3 points towards the Jets. So what is there something we're missing here? It's an interesting movement.
I was trying to check and see if on my report here if there was any injuries.
Yeah, check that injury report.
I'll look right now.
And
Yeah, I don't see.
I got Arizona up in a -1. I use the Serica line. I don't know which line you use. I use the sharpest line. I think
I
Serica.
think the Jets are favored.
for opening, I usually look at Pinnacle opening.
Pinnacle Sports Shop. Sports 411,
Yeah.
which is bookmaker, Bet
All right.
Chris,
Yep.
and Serica. Those are probably the sharpest opening lines.
Yeah, guys.
Pinnacle's really good, though, in basketball.
All right. No problem.
For those of you guys that don't know what we're talking about here with these sports books and stuff, there's a lot of sports books that you guys don't know about because you're always on FanDuel, DraftKings. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but there's sports books in Vegas that don't have the apps. There's sports books in Costa Rica, big hub, a lot of money. A lot of the odds makers actually are there. So we look at Pinnacle, we look at Bet Online, we look at the Win, we look at the Westgate. We look at the Circa, like TK likes to look at. What's one of your?
I look at them all.
Looks at them all, like
Every one of
Scotty.
them.
Scotty spends time to look at all 150,
You gotta.
200. There's hundreds of lines out there to look at. So you got to look at all of them. If you're sitting here,
You got to look at the sharp ones because a lot of these guys just mirror off one. They pull the lines from Don Best, and it's basically
a lot of sports books, all they're doing is mimicking lines. They don't have someone actually in place to set the odds. They have someone just to copy them.
All right. There you go.
Copycats.
Yeah, it's important. We've preached this every time we've done the show. Guys, you got to shop around, especially if you're a serious player. You want to look for the right number and to have the edge for yourself when you're betting these games. Bottom line.
That's why it's called Get the Edge.
That's it. Get
the
the
end of
edge.
the day.
It's called Find the Edge, and it's called Make Winning Great Again. That's the new name.
Find the edge and make winning great again. I like it.
Who do you like in the NFL?
So I'm looking at this Vikings-Jags game, and I think like the Jags have had some close games. They're only 1-2 in their last 3, but they've all been tight, and they've almost the 2 that they lost, they almost won, and they beat the Patriots, and then they lost very tight games to the Eagles and the Packers, who are good teams. So I think they're getting a lot of respect for that. And this line's only at 4.5. But here's the thing: the Vikings are 6-2 against the spread in their last 8. The Jags are 0-8 straight up in their last 8 games as underdogs. I think people are overreacting to the Jags here. I think that Sam Darnold and Justin Jefferson have a very special connection. I think we've been seeing that all year. And there's nothing really that indicates to me that this should be a close game. I think it should be a double-digit game. You got the Vikings, who are in top 10 in every statistical category, and you got the Jags, who are in the bottom 10 in every statistical category. Points, point differential, expected points per play. I mean, that's EPA, if you ever hear me say EPA. The Jags are bottom 10. Vikings are top 10. The Vikings have a little injury bug going on, but their key components, Aaron Jones, Justin Jefferson, and Sam Darnold, are all in action.
All right, and that's your best bet? And
Yeah,
only.
it's sitting at like -4.5 right now. So
That's a strong line because Green Bay went to Jacksonville a couple of weeks back, and Green Bay was only about a 3.5 point favorite. So they're giving that line right on that game with Minnesota at 4.5. But the only thing that scares me about Jacksonville did wake up in the second half against Philadelphia. I don't know if Philadelphia gave them those points or they earned them, but they had a chance to get on to the end there, and they got intercepted in the end zone. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence threw a pick in the end zone, or they could have won that game against Philly and had a little momentum going. So I want to see how they come off that game. I'd probably stay away from it. It looks too good that, like you say, Minnesota has the edge on all the categories, basically.
It should be higher.
On paper. But, paper don't play these games and don't get us paid at the end of the day. But I got a couple of games I'm really feeling good about, guys, this weekend in the NFL. Huge matchup. 6-2 Steelers travel to Washington, 7-2. I think this is going to be an interesting game since they brought Russell Wilson in 2-0 as a starter. They're 3-1 on the road. Yeah, Washington is undefeated at home. They're 4-0. But I don't think this guy has run into a defense. This young rookie, Jaden Daniels, is going to run into a buzzsaw. This Pittsburgh team knows what to do, especially against young quarterbacks. I think they're going to throw schemes at this guy that's going to shake him up. And I think they're going to take advantage of some nice mistakes and take advantage of this game. I love the Steelers as a dog in this game. I'd buy the line up to plus 3.5. It makes a lot of sense, guys. You got a quarterback on one side of the ball that's, obviously the experience, the nod goes to Russell Wilson. He's 2-0 so far. They seem to be responding to him, and the defense is just amazing for the Steelers. So I think there's going to be something there that they're going to carry that momentum, and I see the Steelers as a live dog. Take it plus 3.5. Best bet for me. And one other game in the afternoon on Sunday, you got the Tennessee Titans traveling to the L.A. Chargers. Nah, I don't see this one at all. I see the Chargers ass-kicking them. Current line on this game is 7.5. Just too much firepower. I mean, how can you put Herbert against Mason Rudolph? I mean, Herbert's having a great season. He's got 10 touchdowns, 1 interception. Mason Rudolph, 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. I just don't see it. They allow more points, 26 points a game, Tennessee does, on their defense. And you're playing against the number 1 team defensively in the NFL right now, allowing only 12.6 points per game. So between all that good stuff and the way the line is on this game, I just love the Chargers in this spot. I'd bring it down. No way I'd leave it on a 7.5. This game's going down to 6.5. Guys, listen to me on this one. Keep this line at 6.5. Jump on the Chargers. They should manhandle. They need a blowout. They had one last week. I think they carry their momentum this week, and they blow this team out by double digits. Boom.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at.
One thing I got to say is the NFL got it right this week. Take out 2 of the worst teams out of the country in Germany, so we don't have to get up early and watch that one. So Giants-Panthers on the
Giants and Panthers.
That's 2-7 against 2-7.
So basically, what you're telling us is we could sleep in.
We can sleep in on that one.
We could watch Saturday Night Live Saturday night.
Yeah,
we could watch Pac-12 after dark. We got 2. Technically, they're not in the Pac-12 anymore, but we got 2 teams who were Pac-12 or Mountain West, I think, and they're yeah.
Let me ask you guys a question.
stuff.
Let me ask you guys a question. Not that I want any opinion or anything. What's your thoughts on this Dallas demising of themselves? I mean, what's going on here with the Cowboys? I mean, they just seem like they're falling off. The wheels are falling off one by one.
Quarterback's
There might
out.
be three wheels, one left.
Well, Dak's out. He's out for a while, isn't he?
I don't know, man. But
didn't think
Did
he
you
got
see?
hurt.
Did you see what he said?
They're just finding
Did you
ways
see
to
what they
lose.
caught Dak saying on the sideline?
Yeah.
We
suck.
We effing suck, and he would, and it was pretty clear what he said.
He's out indefinitely.
Listen, man, the Cowboys. You guys know
the
me. I'm
Cowboys
always
are out indefinitely.
Yeah,
True.
the Cowboys got problems.
So are the
man.
Dolphins.
They got a TKO.
Same as the Dolphins. I'm happy the Dolphins are out. Man, that team, I hate them.
They
screwed me last week. Man, it still pisses me off.
What, you bet the Dolphins last week?
Nah, I had the
you went
Buffalo.
against them.
Okay. That's another game I won't watch.
you
Miami
did.
Rams. I won't even watch. And don't even get me started on the Dolphins.
I think I actually,
I'm
speaking
talking
of that
about
game,
the Cowboys. I don't know where you guys are ranting about.
real quick,
Dolphins.
speaking of that game, I think the Rams are going to go on a nice little run here. Stafford's looking better and better every week.
Well, he got his weapons finally.
But as far as the Cowboys go, I mean, listen, you got a team where the quarterback and the wide receiver take up 48% of the cap space on the team.
Yeah.
They got problems. That's all I know. They got problems. You got an owner that people don't, you got
Coach is gone. What do you think? What's your thoughts?
not
Mike
according
McCarthy gone?
not according to Jerry.
He's staying next year. What do you think, T? Is he in or out? If you had to guess.
To me, he's out.
He's
Jerry
out?
Jones should step the hell down too. I mean, on that.
What about Belichick?
Belichick maybe come to Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What do you
who
think?
knows?
I don't think they can coexist. I don't think Belichick could have an owner like Jones.
Hey,
I've been watching.
They might have to kiss and make up.
Speaking
that's
of Belichick, I've been watching. It's a weekly FX show on Aaron Hernandez.
yeah, I saw it.
Very
Yeah,
interesting
very
show.
cool. Very cool.
Very interesting
Crazy,
show.
crazy.
Way crazier than I ever imagined. I mean, you never know with these TV shows what's true, what's not.
Right.
But if the stuff that's going on in this show is true, I was blown.
I'll have to watch
away.
that. I'll have to turn that on. It's on Netflix, right? I think.
Yeah.
I'll have to turn it.
I don't know if it's on Netflix. I forgot what network. But yeah, check it out, guys. It's a really cool show, and it really gets into it.
I'm surprised
Big
you're
time.
not on the Detroit-Houston game this week. You're Detroit. I thought of you last week. I was at the Hard Rock. I walked in and put a nice future on Detroit to win the Super Bowl. I forgot the odds I got. I got it at the house.
They just picked up a huge piece on defense. I think yesterday.
Yeah.
Also, they got a very good player on defense.
Former Pro Bowler.
Yeah. So I mean, all they do seems to be making the right moves. Dan Campbell, this guy. Let me tell you, he's a damn good coach, and he's got good people around him, and they are playing. Jared Goff. Woo, he's up there. Let me tell you something. He's in the top 3. If I had to guess, he's in the top 3 for most valuable player right now. He's having a season like no one else.
Yeah.
I don't think he's thrown an incomplete pass in 4 first halves in a row.
He's
Not
killing
one
it.
pass has hit the ground.
I was looking at that game, TK, but I wanted to see a stronger line. Only 3.5. I wanted to see 4.5 there.
Yeah, but they're giving respect to Houston too.
Yeah, but C.J. Stroud's been struggling a little bit. But I see what you're saying. They're giving respect to Houston. Exactly. That's what scares me about that game.
But you know
So
what?
maybe stay away from it.
I'll tell you one thing. I wouldn't bet against Detroit though.
No, I wouldn't bet
either.
against
I'm not
them.
looking
Hell
to try
no.
to figure out a way to beat them.
No.
Either I'm joining them or I'm staying the hell away from
Exactly.
them.
I
Just
agree.
See, that's what a lot of guys do out there. Guys, listen up. And these two guys would probably tell you the same. He said, don't try to figure out how to try to beat someone. If you don't believe in them, stay the hell away. Don't try to figure out ways how, they're not going to show up or they're not going to do the. These good teams find ways to show up, and they got talent on both sides of the ball. So, don't bet like that. Do yourself a big favor. If you don't believe in it, just stay away from it. Don't try to beat these teams because they'll stick it in your backside more times than you can believe.
And that's where you get all the memes about these fixed games. It's like KC. People are always trying.
There's another one. KC.
People.
Was that not a false start? Come
was.
on, man. That was a
It
blatant
was.
false start. They don't call that.
It was.
I'm not saying they're not going to score anyways, but come on, man.
Only
That was,
undefeated,
He
man.
came off the line of scrimmage about a half a second too early,
pissed.
for
He
sure.
he was pissed on that coin toss, man. He wanted to call heads and he called tails. Because whoever's getting the ball first and that is winning.
Is
in
winning that
overtime.
game.
I gotta ask you guys both here. I want to start with T. 8-0, undefeated, finding ways to win no matter how it is, sloppy, great, whatever. Anybody beating this team this year to win that Super Bowl at this point?
It'll probably be a team with a losing record that beats them, probably.
I'm not saying to beat them in regular season. Is this team getting to the Super Bowl, you think? Kansas City? The way they're playing this year?
If they do, I hope they're playing Detroit.
Okay. I think Detroit could beat them.
Yeah, I do too.
I was going to say the same thing. I think Jared Goff, he's been there before. He hasn't won it before,
Yep.
but he's been there before. And I think if there's a team, I'm looking at all these teams right now. I thought it was San Fran, not anymore. They got too many issues.
I'm interested in that game coming up. Baltimore, Buffalo, and Kansas City.
Buffalo,
It's going to be interesting.
possibly Baltimore, possibly in the playoffs.
All right.
But
Well,
Lamar-
Kansas City, they're going to be 9-0 after this week. I mean, they're playing Denver. I mean,
yeah,
don't see Denver doing much against them, but you
Bo
never
Nix,
know.
man. Bo Nix.
Bo Nix.
Here we
I
go.
love me some Bo Nix.
All right,
know
guys.
that.
I think we touched base on everything. I think we did a little NBA. We did some college football. We did some NFL. Anything you guys want to bring up before we go? We good to go.
College basketball, man. It's coming around. We got to get on that at least next week, a little college hoops.
I started off with a nice heater the other night, opening night. They had a 50-game slate. I think it was Tuesday night.
Monday,
Was it Monday? or
big
Tuesday?
slate.
I think it was Tuesday.
No, Monday.
Was it?
It opened Monday. Yesterday was Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. Sometimes I lose my thought here for a little bit.
When you're in
Had,
this game, you lose
Wichita
track
State
of days.
There's a live dog plus 3 against Western Kentucky. Actually, the line ended up going down to 1, but they ended up beating them outright. So
I'm
far,
with you.
so good.
I opened up my college with the winner last night. UC Davis plus 15, lost by 4 against Washington. Started off the season right.
Let me ask you guys a quick question before we do wrap it up. College basketball, NBA. Which one do you think's easier to consistently make the money in?
College hoops, 100%, man. Look at these totals the last 3 days. I saw some totals move 7-8 points, and that's just these
straight-
numbers are just moving.
Totals only? Or are you talking about sides on?
Well, to win on college hoops, I think the totals are easier, but
Okay.
you got your best chance. You got to jump on them early in the morning.
All right. What about you?
You already know my answer. College basketball all the way. There's so many games. There's so many teams and players always moving around, and it's really hard. Listen, the odds makers at the end of the day, yeah, they use computer systems. Yeah, they use AI algorithms, all that stuff. But we use that stuff too. And these odds makers, at the end of the day, they're only human. And when you have humans going up against humans in a battle, right, it's easier when you have a little bit of an edge where these odds makers, they're focused on where more money is being bet, and there's a lot more money being bet on the NBA than there is on college hoops. So the odds makers are going to put a lot more of their time, effort, and resources into the NBA, which leaves major weaknesses in these college basketball lines, like TK said.
Well, the only thing that I don't like about the NBA, not that I don't like it, it's just that these players, they're coming in and out of the lineup. It's such a long season, they get banged up, and then you got game time decision before you know if these guys are playing. Where in college, you seem to get, better reads on the games, and they'll tell you if they're playing or they're not playing a lot sooner, it seems like, than the NBA. So I think it's a lot easier to get gauges on college basketball than it is the NBA. And I think college game is a stronger game because a lot of these teams don't match up against, listen, you got all paid athletes in the NBA. Anyone could beat anyone on any given night. I mean, it goes for that in college, but I think in college, if you really dissect these matchups and you zone in on like that one or two that's really stand out instead of chasing after all of them, you could really find some decisive edges in college hoops. So I agree with you guys. I think college basketball is definitely the way to go. All right, we did it. We're done. What do you think, Ben? Good show?
Great show. Great show.
All right.
Thank you, Ben.
Love it. Guys, this is the one and only Get the Edge. Don't forget to watch us. We're out there. And I want you to check out all my guys here with me. Where can they find you, TK, out there on social media and watch what you're doing on a daily basis and see the winning for themselves?
All you got to do is go right to my website, tkwins.com. You can get the plays right there daily. And also check me out on social media, Instagram at TKWins. Got free plays up there daily as well.
All right. You heard it. Guy's been doing this for over 30 years, been as consistent as any of us, probably the leader of the pack right now on the show, with the winning he's been doing over the last several weeks. All right, here he is, the one and only Teddy Brooks. Where can they find you, Teddy? The Sports Prophets.
TK comes on the show and steals all of our heat, man. I've been on a little bit of a poor run lately, but that's going to turn around. I didn't wear the GOAT hat this week. I didn't think I deserved. I'm going to have it back on next week, though. I'll tell you that right now. You can find me at thesportsprophets.com, at _profits_pick. No S at the end of pick, and youtube.com/@thesportsprophets.
I think we'll keep that slogan, make winning great again. I think that'll help us boost
we're gonna
our
have
performance.
to have Ben. We're gonna have to get Ben to make us a little "Make Winning Great Again" logo.
There you go.
Figure out color
right.
scheme. I like it.
All right, guys. I'm Scott Matthews. I am the host of this great show. I love doing it with these guys each and every week. Check our show out. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a like, whatever you could do. We're on social media. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube. Just do a search on the show. It's called Get the Edge Sports Podcast. Check it all out. Also on Spotify and on Apple. And check me out. You can find me each and every day. I put out free stuff all the time. We've been about as consistent can be for years, hitting over about 61% over a 5.5, 6 year run on Instagram and TikTok. So check it all out. My official page for Instagram is SM Sports with an S Picks, Picks. That's SM Sports Picks. And also my official page for TikTok. Remember, the page is SM Picks, Picks. Guys, enjoy the winning. Let's see you back here next week. We're ready to pick it back up. Have a great week, and we'll catch you back here next Thursday.
Let's go. Big week. I feel a big week.
Boom.
I agreed with a lot of your guys. I think we're on a good page this week. Big week.
Make winning great again.
Hey,